I just couldn't believe it. I really didn't believe what I was seeing. They're both expected parents admitted that they are not very religious. They both say they believe the image is a sign from above, especially considering the number of complications Zeke and wife experienced with first 2 pregnancies. So, folks, believe it or not. Remember that Wrigley's Believe It or Not? Love that. Interesting. People sometimes want to see what they see, but I saw a picture on there on the internet, and it looks like Jesus. It really looks like him. I mean, it's unmistakable. Who knows? Maybe the Lord did it, and maybe the Lord didn't. It's faith, man. It's faith, and maybe that's just enough for them to get back to church or get into church because they're not particularly religious. But, man, that seemed to turn them around, and the baby's perfect. Baby's the Jesus is watching over the baby. Wow, that just gives me goosebumps. I mean, that's unbelievable. That is really, really cool. By the way, there's a lot of Russians diplomats that are ending up dead. I don't know what's going on here. The Russian ambassador to Sudan was reportedly found dead at a swimming pool. And that was yesterday. And this is becoming Russia's 4th envoy to die in the last 8 months while overseas. So that's the only reason I bring it up. And the New York Times reported Mergasis Shazinski died at his residence in Sudan's capital city. The Sudan foreign minister did not provide the cause of death, but the paper said that he was in his 60s. So there you go. They said the Angus France press reported that Shazinski was found in the swimming pool. He was found dead in the swimming pool at his residence at 7:05. Omar Wakar, a police spokesman, told AFP he didn't believe that any foul play was there, but an embassy press secretary told Russian news media that it appeared Shazinski may have suffered a heart attack. The Times pointed out that Shazinski's death comes almost exactly 6 months since Russia's ambassador to the UN died after suffering a cardiac condition at the Russian embassy in New York. So who knows, man? Poison? Offing them? I mean, that's how Russia works. Or the Clintons. Yeah, it happens over here, too. Yeah, they're the dirty ones that have offed countless people. And you can query that. That's not just made up. But, interesting. That's the old KGB for you, folks. Oh, yeah. They play dirty. Old Vladimir Putin. At work. Who knows? Maybe it's just natural occurrences, but seems a lot of guys have heart attacks because they have heart disease, and people do, and they don't know it. But this could be a Ohio Supreme Court judge and justice. A Vietnam veteran is criticizing a group of Cleveland Brown players who prayed in a circle to protest silently during the national anthem. Here we go again. Well, Bill O'Neill wrote on his Facebook that he would not attend any game in which draft-dodging millionaire athletes disrespect veterans, adding, "Shame on you all," and congratulations, my friend, for saying something. I think that's huge. Bill O'Neill, Ohio Supreme Court Justice and Vietnam veteran. The Colin Kaepernicks, the people following him, thinking that they're doing some kind of great deed. If the NFL doesn't have enough issues right now with blackouts, not enough people in the stands, they're going to continue having this issue. You get players that are going to continue on with making a scene here. Monday's protest involved a group of 12 mostly black Browns players, joined by 2 of their white teammates. And these protests have increased in the league following the San Francisco 49ers guy Colin Kaepernick's signature last year for taking a knee during the anthem to protest police brutality. Respect to all the veterans, respect to the military. We're not protesting against them, says the judge. We have our reasons for doing what we did. Oh, this is the those that are taking the knee. The Browns linebacker Kristen Kriske told Fox 8 on Tuesday. He says, we're not protesting against them. We have our reasons. Oh, I'm sure they do, for what we did last night. But please, what is it? Tell us what it is. Tell us what it is. It's disrespectful. There's a time and then there's a place for it, and it's not on the grounds. And the NFL, with suffering ratings, stands are empty. They're going to learn. And despite currently being unemployed, Kaepernick donated nearly $1 million to charitable and activist groups since beginning his protests. So this is something apparently he believes in. And a lot of these police brutality cases around the country, as I've looked at them, and maybe you've looked at them, people, when you do bad things and you hang around in bad neighborhoods and you run from the police, you grab for your weapon, and like you're going to gun the police down or grab their gun, you're going to be shot, and there's going to be some kind of brutality. I was told early on when I was a kid in New York City to be respectful of officers because you didn't want to disrespect the NYPD. You still don't. That's like an NY police, you know, they have the batons. They'll beat you over the head. You listen to it. They tell you leave, get away. There's a crime scene. They tell you to back up. And if you don't, you mouth off, you're going to get clubbed. They're there to enforce the law and the safety. Yeah, there's some bad apples out there, but geez, the climate then and what you provoke right there, instead of going through legal channels and trying to get new legislation or trying to hire lawyers to go into court and do it the right way, you got a grandstand on national television during a football game when mostly patriotic people are in the stands just trying to say the pledge of allegiance to the flag. These are veterans that fought for the country. The flag means something to them. And there's a generation or generations apparently out there that the flag means nothing to them, very little to them. They don't understand it. God and country, they don't even know what that is. Who's that? Who's God? No, that's just a flag. Doesn't mean anything. These people never fought for anything. And I think that this Supreme Court judge has a point. These people have never served in the military. And if you do, you have a new found thinking. Your heart changes, and you're proud of that flag because you defended it. You know what went into it. And you saw your friends die for it, just like this judge did. And so many other veterans that are listening to the broadcast today here on For the People, or loved ones that you knew sacrificed that are no longer here. But you're proud of their service nevertheless, and they find it amazingly, so do I, disrespectful when people do this kind of thing. It's not the time. It's not the place. And if you don't like our flag, leave. Leave. There's flights out to Cuba. There's flights out to Iraq and Afghanistan. You want to leave? Leave. You don't like our country? Go. Go. It's just not very patriotic, folks. I don't think it's a good thing. But apparently people seem to be consumed, again, just like the consumption of the Confederate figures and the statues, wanting to remove those, just thinking that's going to make everything okay. It's as if it never happened. This didn't happen. No. Trump didn't get in. He's not our president. No, that's not happening. No, as much as they're denying it and fighting it. You can't change what reality is. And as sad as that might be for some people that don't like to live in reality, that's most of Hollywood. That's why a lot of these actors, it's very convenient for them to be able to critique the president or demean the president because that's not their world. They're in Roger Rabbit land. They're in their own anime. And good for them. For us, we like to be in the land of the living. Solid things you can touch. I love movies, don't get me wrong, but, between NFL players and Hollywood actors, they have no place critiquing. You can say it, they can do it. It's they're right, but there's a time and then there's a place. It's something that I learned years ago called etiquette. It's just this little thing called that, but people just don't know when that is. And I think the NFL really needs to come to their senses, and they need to come to it really soon rather than later, because they're going to lose a lot of people that are just going to get hockey tickets. They're going to start embracing soccer and other games because they're not going to go. A lot of people said, I'm giving up my season passes, my tickets. I'm not going to buy the box tickets anymore. I'm not even going to another game. They've just lost a lot of customers, good paying customers that brought a lot of people to them. They find it disrespectful because if they're not going to do anything about it, then fine. I'm not going to support the NFL. I'm not going to support the team anymore because it's disrespecting me and my family and their sacrifice, because it brings old wounds up. Their loved one's not with them anymore, and their life is never going to be the same. Speak to any veteran that's been to theater. PTSD is very prevalent, more prevalent than you could ever know in veterans. A lot of them, they don't talk about it a whole lot because they don't want to appear weak or anything like that, but they're up at night. They're bothered. A lot of them come back alive. Maybe they're missing a few limbs, but a lot of them, they have guilt. Why did I live and he didn't? He did more than I did, or I didn't do enough. And it's all I speak to veterans all the time, and that's just what I hear. They're being honest. They're being transparent. But this gets under their nerves. I can't even tell you how much it gets under their nerves. They want to cry. It angers them too. It really angers them vehemently because they don't know. That's why I say we should offer free tickets. Take a knee. Don't want to give the Pledge of Allegiance? Hey, I got a place for you that you'll actually never take a knee, and if you do, you're going to get assassinated. Why don't you go to North Korea? Why don't you play those games over there? Remember the freedoms you have. Don't take advantage of it. It's what people do. They take advantage of what we have. You give people an inch, they take a mile. Sometimes you can be too good to people, too good to be true. They can wear that uniform, they go out there and make all those millions of dollars, and then they think they have the right to do everything and anything, and that everybody should follow them around because they had a point. And you may not understand the bigger picture, but we did it for a reason. Forget about what anybody else feels like. It's just what they feel like because they're entitled. They're big NFL players. It's not all players. It was a limited amount that were on the sidelines, but it paused it, and people left. They got up and left the game. I would have done the same thing. I'd like, I'm done with it. You made your point. I made mine. You're not getting my money. I'm telling you, the NFL will have to do something. They're going to need to address this, and other teams are going to have similar problems. It's not going to just be football if they don't tackle this. No pun intended. But they need to do something. Kelly Ann Conway, love her. One of the senior advisors of the president. She's been all over the television, basically slamming former intelligence director James Clapper. And today, for what she called his absurd analysis on President Trump's fitness for office, Clapper was one of the numerous CNN pundits who tore into the president. If you can remember, in his late-night rally speech in Phoenix, he was there talking to him and basically just saying that the Obama error he's out of his mind. He's crazy. He's unfit for office.